Hello, fellow chatterers and connoisseurs of books. I'm Chatty, and welcome to my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, where I will be chatting away madly about books. And this is the first one-shot, no editing, weekly wrap-up. Let's do this. Okay, I have read 2 books. It is currently Friday the 8th of April. And I have 2 books I'm also started. I'm not even in the middle of, I've just started them. So we have the books I finished are The Way of Kings, the first book in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. This is an adult epic fantasy, and this is a reread for me because I have read it before. Now, I'm not counting the whole book because I did read half of this in March, but in the UK the books are split into 2, so you have Way of Kings Part 1 and Way of Kings Part 2. So we're counting the Way of Kings Part 2 because I read the Way of Kings Part 1 pretty much in this book in March. So it was a fantastic reread. I had an amazing time with it. I'm so excited to be doing this reread, and it's giving me all the feels that it gave me before. I read the paperbacks for my first read because I need to carry them around with me and I need to race through. Whereas this is a pretty US hardcover. I don't like the jackets, so I take them off, but I love this. And I don't know if you can, you can just about see there is a shard blade on the front there. But sadly, despite me trying to read it to preserve the prettiness, and it's just such a lovely book. It feels really nice. I did have a terrible accident, and I've got some slight waterlogging on the pages because I spilled my drink over it because I fell asleep and had a drink in my hand and then it went whoopsies. So I did some mopping and some drying, and it's not too bad, but there are some crinkly pages. But never mind, I love it anyway. And then there was a slight mucky fingerprint that I hadn't realised, but I think that's even too faint to see. So it's been read. It's not as pristine as before, but it's very loved. So finished that one. I then read Quicksand by Nella Larson. This is a bind-up of all her work. So the one I read was... Oh, no, that's a short story. It's coming. Hold on, it is coming. Sorry, one edit. We can't cut this. You've got doodly-doo doing in the book. There we go. So I have read this bit. This is the novel Quicksand. This is an adult classic, and it explores the themes of race. I really felt it was very emotional, and I think drawing a lot from Nella Larson's own experiences about being of mixed heritage and having a lighter skin tone and that feeling of not quite belonging, exploring the cultural roots and exploring the bourgeoisie lifestyle in 1920s US New York life. So yeah, and I read this all in one sitting. It was a really quick read. In this book it's less pages, but in the classic Penguin bind-up by itself it's 192. And the books I'm currently reading are The Wife's Tale by Ada Edmariam, and this is a book that I got from the Book Box Shelter Book Club, and I've had this for a while and I haven't picked it up yet because it's not my normal reading. I have moments where I kind of want to expand my reading tastes and I want to expand my knowledge of the world. This is like a part memoir of her ancestors, part literary fiction book, and it's set in Ethiopia sort of from 1918 onwards. So I'm not very far in at the moment, but it's one I'm going to keep kind of picking up and reading a bit more of. I might kind of work a little bit more on that kind of in one go and see if I get more enjoyment from it that way. But for now, I've read a little bit. I'm interested. I'm not quite gelling with the writing, but we'll see how it goes. And I have finally started a book I've been trying to read for a really long time, and that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. So I have read the first 2 parts, this little tiny bit here, and I am going to be reading some more later on. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. The premise is living up to what it promised, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes. So that's where we're at the moment. I'm now going to let you know how I'm doing in terms of the 2 readathons that I'm taking part in this month. All of the descriptions and sort of more information about these books, I'm going to put their Storygraph links in the description box below, and I'm also going to put links to the 2 readathons that I mentioned in the description box below as well, because I can no longer put captions on my videos because we can't edit. It's one shot. So first of all, we have the Magical Readathon, which is hosted by G from Book Roast. And this has been going on for many years, but she has revamped it, outdone herself, created her own magical university. And this is the first term, as it were, called the Spring Equinox, where our created characters are taking classes, and we read certain books to be able to pass certain classes. So for my character, who is part of the Mindwalkers Guild, is possibly wanting to pass exams to eventually go on to the calling of either Rift Architect or Dreamwalker. And there are 4 books for both of those that use the same 4 classes for both of those callings. So it would be sensible if I started off by reading those and ticking those off, and then maybe reading some of the other ones and seeing which one I eventually get to. But no, we're just going with what I'm reading. So I'm using the Way of Kings for one of my Dreamwalker classes, and that is the class of the Art of Illusion. And this for this exam, we are going to be taking the mirror image study, and so for that I have to read a book with a trope that I like, and the trope that I really like is the found family, and there is a found family in the Way of Kings. It is one of my favorite found families. I absolutely love it, but I'm not going to say any more just in case you've not read this book and I don't want to spoil anything. And I then am counting The Wife's Tale, once I finish it, to be part of a Rift Architect class, which is an inscription class, and we will be taking the exam in the Glyph of Strength, and for that we have to read an intimidating book. This book intimidates me because it's outside of my comfort zone. I'm worried it's going to make me cry. I'm worried it's going to make me think a lot and be really reflective, which can sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable, but I want to push myself more to expand my horizons and try and read a wider range of things and learn more about other cultures and other lives and other histories. So I'm going to keep working on that to pass that class. And also there are little things to kind of get extra character points, and G has put up lots of little quests. I've joined a couple of them that are for the anyone can join them. So usually like a certain number of people you have to claim quickly to get them, but there are some unlimited ones so you can join in the fun too. So I have joined the quest, or rather my character has joined the quest for, I've written it down, it is here somewhere. Oh yeah, a fire weasel in danger. So my character is an earthling, so she's got good tracking skills. A fire weasel out in the environment could possibly lead to forest fires, and as a tree person she wants to go and make sure that the fire weasel is safe and also the trees are safe. So I feel this quest would fit her character. So for that we get 10 character points if we read a new to you author. It's my first Schwab. I have never read a book by V.E. Schwab before, and I have been meaning to for a very long time, so this counts as a new to me author. Okay, we're now on to Realmathon. This is a readathon created by Cassidy from the channel Covers with Cassidy. And again, her video will be linked below explaining it. My realm is the realm of Serene. We are a sea kingdom. We revere the Leviathan. And to gain extra points, we read as many whimsical fantasy books as possible. So far I've not read any whimsical fantasy. I've not picked up any whimsical fantasy, but I have many on my list to read. However, because the readathon is based off Cassidy's favourite fantasy subgenre, which is military fantasy, you get 10 points for reading a military fantasy, as well as 10 points for your realm's specific fantasy, in my case whimsical. And The Way of Kings definitely counts as a military fantasy. So 10 points being earned for Serene here. You can then have 5 extra things to add to your book. You can add as many of them as you like, as many of the same ones again. So it's not just once you've read them, you have to move on. You can keep adding them. There are increasing and there are decreasing ones. So for The Way of Kings, I am going to be putting on Build a Training Ground. So a book that has an apprentice trope in it. This very much does. The character Shalon becomes the apprentice of the scholar Yasna in this book, and that gives me 3 more points for Serene. And then we have Build a Castle, which is a chunky book. Anything 500 pages plus counts as a chunky book. The Way of Kings Part 2 is 524, so this definitely counts. That's another 3 points. And then Medic Training. That is a book that has mental health or healing in it. And there is a character in here that suffers a lot from mental health, suffers a lot from depression. So that definitely counts. And that's another 2 points for Serene. And then the final, 2 more. The last 2, we have Betray an Alliance. So that is a book where an alliance is betrayed or a character is an orphan. And one of the characters in here, Shalon, is an orphan. I also hits another mark in here, but I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil anything. And the final one is Magical Warfare. Any book that has magical warfare or magical weapons. Way of Kings has a magical weapon called the Shard Blade, which is a sword that has extra powers. When you basically it can cut through anything, so like any material, any person, and like their eyes burn when you slay them. It also has shard plate, which is an armor that kind of magically enhances your abilities to be able to move quickly, to be able to jump further, and increases your already gotten skill. So there we go. We have a total of 18 points for Serene, and also 5 points there I can deduct from the 2 kingdoms either side of me, and I haven't decided which one. If you are part of the Magical Readathon and have any preference on which realm I should deduct points from, I can't do Bale because they are opposite us. So Bale, you're safe. But either of the other 2 kingdoms, realms, let me know which one I should deduct points from. And then the other book that I have read, Quicksand. Obviously not a fantasy, so no military points, no whimsical points. But I can apply the 5 other things to it. So this counts as rest break. I read it in 1 sitting, plus 3 points. Again, medic training, mental health. There is a mental health moment in Quicksand as well, plus 2 points. A supply run. Read a book where the author is from a different country to you. Nella Larson is from the United States of America. I live in the UK, different country. So that is plus 2 points. Betray an alliance. Again, either an alliance is betrayed or a character is an orphan. The protagonist for Quicksand is an orphan. So that is minus 3 points for another kingdom. Try new magic. Read a book outside of your comfort zone. So this was more of a challenge for me. It is a classical book. It pushes me. I'm reading for themes that are uncomfortable, but I want to expand my horizons. I want to learn more. So although I'm excited about them, it is more challenging because it's not just a fun read to escape from. So I count that as out of my comfort zone. So that's minus another 3 points. So Quicksand gives us a total of 7 points for the Realm of Serene and a total of minus 6 points for one of my neighbouring realms. Again, any preference, please put in the comments below who I should take points from, because I haven't added them to the sheet yet, and I won't do it until I get a few comments on here, because it's got plenty of time. So this has been lots of fun. We have managed it in one take. There were no disasters. Please do comment down below. Let me know if any of these books sound interesting to you, if you've read them before. Are you taking part in any of these readathons? Any other comments, feel free to have a chat. Always love to do so. And if you can give it a like as well, that would mean a lot. And if you enjoyed this and want to see more, please have a little think about subscribing so you can always be aware of when I'm posting new videos. Happy reading, everyone, and I will chat again soon.